Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, the 2023 College Football Season Predictions. This is going to be the podcast dedicated to the Pac-12. I'll go over the predicted standings, pick the Pac-12 championship game, and then I'll do my bold predictions for the conference, and then we'll do some futures as well. Don't forget, no more divisions in the Pac-12, which is a wonderful thing for the conference. Winning this conference, I have the record of 12-0 overall, 9-0 in conference play. Of course, it's the USC Trojans. USC is the team to beat in this conference, and I think it'd be a surprise if they don't win the conference, personally. That's how I think how talented they are. Caleb Williams is the best player in college football, hands down. You can't convince me otherwise. The wide receiver group is very deep, including two special teams aces and Michael Jackson III and Raleek Brown. Marshawn Lloyd's a good transfer running back coming in. Their offensive line's pretty good. Their pass rush is freaking awesome. Nobody talks about it. A couple transfers coming in. That is a big boost to their team. And then you also have really good linebackers as well as good defensive backs too. And they do lose some talent. They lose Andrew Voorhees, the guard, the wideout, Jordan Addison, Travis Dye at running back, Mekhi Blackman at corner, but they'll be fine. It's USC. And Lincoln Riley is a hell of a coach. Coming second in the conference, I have 10-2 overall, 7-2 in conference play, the Washington Huskies. I think Washington's going to be really good this year. Michael Penix Jr. is back at quarterback as a senior. Deep running back group with Dylan Johnson and Daniel Ngata, the transfers. And Ngata's going to be used on special teams. They have good receivers in Jalen McMillan and Rome Odunze. And Giles Jackson's a good special teams player, too. The interior of their offensive line I have some questions about, but I think that'll play itself out. Their defense is actually going to be pretty good, especially the pass rush. Secondary's actually not bad either. But they do lose some people. Wayne Talapapa, the running back. Jeremiah Martin at defensive end. Zavell Smalls at defensive end who transferred. Jackson Kirkland, the tackle. Henry Bainivalu, the tackle. We'll see with Washington. Maybe they disappoint again, and maybe they're better than expected in terms of maybe they actually win the conference over SC. Coming in third in the conference, 9-3 overall, 6-3 in conference play, the Utah Utes. I think Utah is going to be pretty good this year. Cam Rising at quarterback's back as a senior. Jaquinton Jackson, good sophomore running back. They have really good receivers in Micah Pittman and Devon Vele, who are special teams aces. A good tight end and Brent Keithe. A couple of good offensive linemen. Pass rush is excellent. A couple of questions in the secondary, and I think they may answer, especially at the corner position. A good kicker in Cole Becker, who's a transfer. A big loss for the offense, though, is Dalton Kincaid. Braden Daniels on the offensive line is a big loss, too, as is Clark Phillips, the third at corner, and R.J. Hubert at safety. In fourth, I have 9-3 overall, 6-3 in conference play, the Oregon Ducks. Oregon's going to be good. Oregon's usually good in this conference. Bo Nix is a senior. Couple good running backs in Bucky Irving and Noah Whittington. Receiver room's pretty good. Tens Johnson comes over as a transfer. Trey Franklin's really good. Terrence Ferguson's a good tight end. Decent offensive line. Pass rush is okay. Really good secondary. Good kicker in Camden Lewis. But some big losses. Noah Seal at the linebacker position. Casey Roddick, the guard, was a transfer. DJ Johnson, the linebacker. Chase Cota at receiver. Alex Forsyth at guard. DJ Bass at guard, and Forsyth was at center. Justin Flo, the linebacker, was a transfer. But I think Oregon's going to be pretty good. Coming in fifth in the conference, 7-5 overall, 5-4 in conference with the UCLA Bruins. UCLA, I think, has a lot of questions. They obviously lose DTR and Zach Carbonet, two really big losses offensively, and Jake Bobo, too, and the two guards. So their offense has a ton of questions. Colin Schlee comes in at quarterback transfer. Carson Steele at running back transfer. J. Michael Sturvant at receiver transfer. A couple of good offensive linemen. Their defense is going to be good. Their defense is veteran-laden, and they have experience, including the Murphy brothers, which is fun. And then special teams has some questions, too. But Chip Kelly's a good coach. Coming in 6th in the conference, 5-7 overall, 3-6 in conference play. The Cal Golden Bears. Cal does not have that much talent, but they do have some depth at some spots. Their defense might not be bad. They have good linebackers. They have good defensive backs. They have a good run stopper in Brett Johnson. They have a good running back in Jaden Oz, good special teams guy in Jeremiah Hunter, who's a receiver. Quarterback questions, offensive line questions, I think could doom Cal. 7th in the conference, 6-6 overall, 3-6 in conference play. The Arizona State Wildcats, the Sun Devils. I had the wrong Arizona school in my mind. Arizona State's interesting. Drew Pine's a quarterback. He's a transfer. Elijah Badger's a good at receiver. Jalen Conyers at tight end's pretty good. But they have some questions on defense, pass rush in particular. Couple good corners, which is good. Couple big losses, including Daniel Ngata at running back and X Valley at running back. And Kyle Soule on the pass rush. Coming in 8th in the conference, 6-6 overall, 3-6 in conference play. The Washington State Cougars. Wazoo is hit or miss. I feel like they have more talent on defense than offense this year. Cam Ward's a good quarterback. Nakia Watson, decent running back. Couple good offensive linemen. Pretty good secondary. They can rush the passer with Brandon Jackson, Ronstone Jr. And they have a good punter in Nick Haberer as well. A couple big losses, including Francisco Mamagoa, the linebacker, and Robert Farrell at receiver. Coming in 9th, 5-7 overall, 3-6 in conference play. The Colorado Buffaloes. I think Colorado in year one with Dion is going to go. I think a lot of people think it's going to be a disaster. I think maybe the 5-7 they might get mocked in terms of everybody's hyping up Dion. So some people might look at that as a disappointment, but I do think that this program in the long run could be good. Their special teams is going to be very good, and they're versatile too. Jimmy Horn's a good special teams player. Travis Hunter plays both wideout and corner. Alton McCaskill's a good running back. Good pass rush with some transfers coming in. And then Trevor Woods is a good safety. There's a couple guys they lose. Brady Russell, Nico Reed, the transfer. Josh Chandler, Semedo at linebacker. Coming in 10th, 5-7 overall, 3-6 in conference play, the Arizona Wildcats. Arizona could be interesting. And I think that they have a chance to be elite offensively because they can block on the exterior of the offensive line. They have really good wide receivers in Jacob Crowing and Tiaroa McMillan. They have a good running back in Michael Wiley, a good quarterback in Jaden DeLora, but their defense has a lot of questions. Good special teams. They lose Dorian Singer at receiver. They might be better than I think. 11, 6-6 overall, 3-6 in conference by the Oregon State Beavers. I saw that Jonathan Smith's in year 7 already. That's insane. I remember when they hired Jonathan Smith, which is weird. Damian Martinez is back at running back. They have good receivers in Anthony Golden and Silas Bolden, who are both special teams guys. A really good offensive line, which will help that offense. Decent pass rush. Secondary is pretty good. But they do lose a lot of key players. Rezjon Wright, Omar Speets, Jaden Grant on defense. Trayshawn Harrison on offense. Brendan Kuiper, the tackle. So they do have some big losses on that team. And in the cellar, 3-9 overall, 1-7 in conference play. The Stanford Cardinal. Stanford, they have the least amount of talent in the conference. David Shaw, obviously, is gone. And in comes in Troy Taylor, who comes over from Sacramento State. We'll see how he does in year one at the Power 5 and FBS level. E.J. Smith returns at running back. Benjamin Urisek's a good tight end. They have some good linebackers, a good kicker in Joshua Carty. Some key losses. Drake Nugent, the center. Ryan Sanborn, the punter. He was actually pretty good. Stephen Herron, the defensive end. Elijah Higgins, the wide receiver. Kai Blue Kelly on defense. Michael Wilson, the receiver. Bryson Tremaine, receiver, special teams ace. But yeah, too many key losses on this team and not a lot of talent. All right, the Pac-12 championship. The USC Trojans against the Washington Huskies. Great quarterback battle with Caleb Williams and Michael Penix. Battle of two potential first-round picks. We know one of them is going to be a first-round pick, perhaps the first overall pick in Caleb Williams. Penix could be a first-round pick too. Absolutely. Great team, great rosters. But I think Lincoln Riley is a better head coach than Kalen DeBoer. And Kalen DeBoer had a good year last year, let's be honest. They went 10-2 and they won the Alamo Bowl against Texas. They had a good year. And I think they're going to have a good year again. So, Washington's going to be in play for year 6. But I think SC's the better team. So give me USC over Washington to win the 2023 Pac-12 title game. All right, bold predictions for the conference. All right. We talked a lot about the schools moving and whatnot. But I already kind of predicted that the Pac-12 will be no more, unfortunately. Rest in peace to the Pac-12. But let's have some different types of predictions for this conference. First up, I'm going to predict that Justin Wilcox gets the axe. To me, this is similar to Neil Brown at West Virginia, although Justin Wilcox has had a job longer than Neil Brown, and Wilcox 4-8 last year, 5-7 the year before, COVID 1-3, 7-5 and 19, 7-5 and 18. But yeah, I feel like Cal's gotten worse the past several years, and I think it's time to move on. And I can see them potentially hiring Jason Eck of Idaho, I think, is in play for this job. And I think that Andy Avalos of Boise is going to be involved. I think that Brady Hoke's going to be involved. And I think that Brady Hoke wants to make that jump back to the Power 5 after having some good seasons with San Diego State. And then Brent Brennan of San Jose State had a really good year last year, and I think that he should be in play with Cal as well. Prediction number 2. I am going to predict that the quarterback trio of Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., and should I make it a foursome, or should I just make it those two with... Oh, how about just make it a foursome with Penix and Williams, with Cam Rising and Bo Nix. They will combine for over 160 touchdown passes. I know that's insane of a number, but I won't be shocked if they combine for 175 touchdowns. So I'm going to say 160 to play it safe because you never know with injuries or benchings and whatnot. So I'm going to say they combine for 160-plus passing touchdowns. So that's a pretty fun one. And my last prediction for the conference, I am going to predict that Jedd Fisch won't last at Arizona. They're obviously moving to the Big 12, and I think that if they don't make a bowl game, he's out. And I do not have the Wildcats making a bowl game this year, so I think Jedd Fisch is out as Arizona's coach. And I think those names I mentioned for Cal will be in play for Arizona. Now we'll do futures. We'll start with win totals for the Pac-12. So I'll say what I think, and then I'll give out my favorite one. I don't see the Pac-12. Oh, here we go. Arizona's at 4.5. Juice the over, pass. Arizona State's also 4.5. I really kind of wouldn't mind betting the over because I have them in a bowl game. So that's a good one. Cal's 5.5. Juice the under, pass. Colorado 3.5. I actually like the over on that one. And Dion was awesome at Jackson State. And I don't think he'll be awesome right away at Colorado from a win standpoint. But I think he'll have that team competitive early on. So I do like that over 3.5 for Colorado. Oregon's at 9.5. Juice the under, pass. Oregon State, 8.5. Oh my God, I love that under. I love that under. And it's juice the under. Stanford, 2.5. Juice to the under. I am actually willing to take... Oh no, juice to the over. That's weird. I don't know why it says under ahead of over. UCLA's 8.5. I think that's high. I like that under plus 110. SC's over and under's 9.5. I'll take that over in my sleep. They're going undefeated. Utah's 8.5. Over's plus 110, under's minus 134. I wouldn't mind betting on the over, but I'll pass. Washington's 9.5. I wouldn't mind betting that over too, but I'll pass at plus money. And Wazoo 6.5. I'll pass too. All right, so the one I would bet on, and this is only because I don't think it's going to be a complete disaster right away. And I think that they could potentially win 5 games and challenge for a bowl, and that's Colorado. I like over 3.5 at plus 126. I think he got a lot out of the Jackson State team, Dion, and I think he can get a lot out of the Colorado guys. I have them going 5-7. And they have a lot of toss-ups at home, and some even on the road. I think they can win too, so I like that over. Conference winners for the Pac-12. SC's 2-1, Oregon's 320, Washington's 340, Utah 550, UCLA 10-1, Oregon State 12-1, Wazoo 60, Cal 85, Zona 85, Zona State 110, Colorado 150, Stanford 250. Sneaky value on Utah at 550. Really good defense. Cam Rising, good quarterback. I think that number should be closer to Oregon and Washington than 550. It should probably be like 425 or something like that. So, to me, the value in this conference is Utah at plus 550. And we don't have divisions, so we do not have to worry about that. But I would put USC 2-1 with Texas in the Big 12, Florida State with the ACC, and Ohio State in the Big 10, just for what it's worth. But if it's a singular value bet, I would go with Utah at 550. All right, so there you have it for the Pac-12 season predictions show. Next up is the SEC.